lovelies. It is time for our crystal grid video. Na-na. So we'll be talking about the crystals that came in your Enlightenment kit and also about the meaning behind the crystal grid and how to place them. So anytime that you are creating a crystal grid, you want to make sure that you're allowing yourself to flow with your own intuition and your own inner guidance and also the guidance of your own spirit guides. Because when it comes to crystal grids, we can place crystals and set intention, but the real purpose is to connect with the intentions you're setting, creating a focus, and holding a charge of energy and focus while you wait for the cultivation of whatever it is you're calling in. So I'm going to offer a few suggestions and some ideas of how you can place your grid, but you ultimately are the one who determines how it is placed, where it is placed, and gets to actually be the creator of your crystal grid. So this particular grid, one of the most important symbols is this triple spiral here. It's called a triskelion, which symbolizes the maiden, the mother, and the crone. It symbolizes the three phases, plus we have the center phase, which is, I like to call it the wild woman. And what this is it's honoring the past, the present, the future, honoring spirit that has no past, present, or future, but is one in the wholeness. Also, we have the moon energy, we have the stars and the firmament energy, and then that fiery sun energy. So depending on what you are asking for activation on or asking to receive is going to determine what you place where. So that is your crystal grid to begin with. And I'm going to walk you through some suggestions of what to place where. So one of the very first things that I love in this kit is your eyeball. This kit is all about activating that seeing eye. So with your glass eye, I place mine right in the center of my grid. Ta-da! And they're all a little bit different. And by sending it in the center of my grid, what I'm doing is I'm asking for the ability to see the unseen, to give me focus, to give me direction, to give me a deeper understanding of the things that I'm not seeing. Perhaps you get out your journal for this part, put on your beautiful head adornment with your moon right over your third eye to really anchor in on what you're seeking answers on. What are you trying to uncover? You can also carry this with you, of course, and choose to put a different crystal in the center. If you do choose to put a different crystal in the center, I recommend your selenite tower. That's because the selenite is a purification and an amplifier. And so you can set that right in the center. But for my grid, I'm going to put my eyeball in the center because I want to activate what it is I'm trying to see and open up. And then with my selenite, the selenite is one of the few stones that you don't ever have to cleanse. And it can offer protection and clarity and also cleanse the space when you're around. If you're feeling a little contaminated by other people's energy, then you can grab your selenite, and this one is perfect because you can hold on to it. You can roll it on body parts like your neck or your shoulder or your leg or even your forehead, where you feel like people have maybe allowed their energy to infiltrate and dive into you. And so as we're placing our grid, you're going to pick these three spirals are going to be some of the main focus. Now there's the spiral that's around the sun. So you have one on either side. So asking yourself, are you trying to ignite something? Are you trying to reveal something, shed like massive waves of change and shift towards something? Then the sun spiral is going to be the spiral that you're going to want to place that. If you are wanting to have more just simple, magical awareness in your life, if you're wanting to have your gifts to soften or brighten and see more or feel more or understand more, then you're going to go with those stars. And that's going to be the one to anchor next to because that's about bringing in that softness and sweetness of our gifts. So much of our spiritual gifts we shun and we hide and we shut off because we open up our gifts and then it's like, ooh, I can see all the things and feel all the things. This is overwhelming. You know what? Never mind. I'm going to just pull back. And so the star energy is about connecting all the little pieces and seeing how connected you are. It's also about understanding that it doesn't have to be blast you with information. It can be soft, subtle awarenesses, soft connections, new experiences that expand on each other, little by little by little. Okay, so then the next one, I'm just gonna rotate my little grid here, is the moon energy. So if you want the moon energy, it's much more about diving into your flow, your feminine. If you think of the way the moon affects the tides, the rising and the falling. And it's also about cycles. So if you are feeling like you would like to activate your enlightenment to complete a cycle, end a cycle, stop cycles, help ease through the cycle, whether it's a cycle of life change from maiden to mother, or from mother to the crone, the grandmother energy, or if you're embracing into the wild woman energy in the center, then sometimes you might need to see where you are in your cycles, and sometimes you need a little extra support to say goodbye to something in order to say hello to something new. So if you've been having a challenge moving through those cycles, then that's going to be the moon energy for that selenite. So the selenite, because it is a spire and a tower, the energy starts at the base and it comes up. So it's going to amplify and radiate up. So that's typically, if you're going to use this for different grids in the future, I would put it right in the center. But in my case, I'm going to use mine for those moon cycles and moving into new phases. My children are I have children going off to college and just moving into new phases in life and getting close to being an empty nester. So for me personally, I've been moving into this grandmother wisdom, and I'm going to have my selenite to cleanse anything that is not my dream, anything that is not my belief system, anything that is somebody else's information or somebody else's view of what my life should or shouldn't look like. So that's why I'm going to have the selenite on my moon. Then the next one we're going to talk about is going to be your aura quartz. So this is the purple and blue quartz. I love this one. I mean, how could you have an enlightenment kit and not have something magical like this? So aura quartz, especially where it has the point, it's a director, and it connects our third eye all the way up to our crown. So you can sit in meditation and have the aura quartz right there on your forehead, and just, or even near in between, or even on top, depending on what you're trying to strengthen. Are you trying to strengthen the wisdom coming in through the crown? Are you trying to strengthen your ability to discern and understand? And having those points, it's definitely going to help to activate a lot of that energy, and get it so it creates a streamline rather than feeling so scattered. So for mine, I love subtle, soft opening and awareness and understanding. So I'm going to put mine on the spiral in between the moon and the stars because I want to activate that. So that one's that one. Da-da-da. Next we have our elephant, that opal elephant. And I love mine because it looks very rainbowy and it makes me happy. So elephant wisdom, we have had elephant wisdom come before in our kits. This one's just a little bit different version. Elephant wisdom, I'm putting mine on my sun spiral so it can be a nice igniter. And the reason for that is because elephant is all about grounding and centering. It's about understanding the wisdom of the ancestors, and it's about connecting that family element. So for me personally, my family is shifting and changing into a new dynamic that I haven't experienced before. So that sun that's coming in and just blasting through the phoenix fire, I'm going to allow that to come through and blast and shift my family into a new state. Because just because we have change coming doesn't mean it has to be hard, and doesn't mean it has to take forever and be drawn out and holding on to the past. And sometimes it's easier to let it burn and purge into a new form of being. And the elephant is also about trusting the intelligence within you, trusting the information you're getting and acting upon it. And especially when we have the fires of change burning, then sometimes it can be really hard to trust. And so that's where the elephant is, trusting that inner intelligence, having that harmony, having that courage to make those changes. Okay, so then next we have our geode ring. Now this one, you can choose to leave your grid in this form, and it is good. So I'm showing you how to use all of the things if you wanted all of the things on your crystal grid. And I do also recommend, as you're going through this process, to journal the process, lighting your candle with all of those sun fiery light codes. If you want your candle to be placed, I'd place it on the sun itself. And then you can light it just when you meditate while your grid is sitting. So that's where you would place your candle if you're going to use that in your crystal grid. Again, it's not necessary, but it is an option. With our geode, the geode is our symbol of going inside, of diving in deep, of allowing yourself to see that what appears on the outside isn't always on the inside. And so if you choose to place your geode, again, I would pick which area you feel like it reaches to more. So in this case, you're going to actually put them, there's little dots, if you look closely, on each of the elements. So there's a dot in the center of the sun, there's a dot point in the center of the stars, and then of course in the center of the moon. So you can pick which point you want to put it on to amplify what is needed. So for my geode, I am looking at wanting to see what's inside, wanting to see what's underneath. I'm going to go with the stars, and I'm going to open that really softly, and you just place it right on that star. Now you can flip it so that the geode is hidden, or you can flip it up kind of like a little stand with your ring, letting that soft, subtle opening to flow, because I love cracking things open fiercely, so that would be your sun. But I'm going to go for some soft and subtle for this one. And if you were to do the moons, it would be wanting to crack open and wanting to dive deeper into the cycles and the source of your cycles. So that would be moon energy there. And then the next one we're going to do is our quartz tree. Ta-da! So quartz is one of the most wonderful crystals for opening up and activating that channel of communication from the divine all the way within you. It's clarity, it's focus, and which is why we have so much in this kit, because not only do we have our tree, which I'm placing on my clarity of my moon, just like that. Oh, let me turn it around so you can kind of see. Oops. So I'm placing mine right over the moon point. But then you also have your long, beautiful beads of clear quartz. Now with your long strand of quartz, you can place it on your crystal grid, or you can choose to wear it, or you can choose to put your pendant on your beautiful necklace and tie it all together. By wearing it, you're just activating and keeping that flood of information clear. The reason why it's a necklace versus having the clear quartz up here on our forehead like we have with our other crystals is because the neck and the throat is actually the gatekeeper between the heart and the mind. So if your heart and mind are not communicating clearly, it's your throat that's going to be sore, to cough, to have neck pain, because all of that tension and that back and forth energy that's not flowing is going to stop right there at that throat. And so either when we say something, it doesn't come out right, or we avoid speaking up because we are stuck in that throat space. And so by wearing your clear quartz necklace, you can help to open up and allow that clarity to come through. So it comes from your crown, through your third eye, down your throat where it's cleansed with your crystals, and then into your heart. And then your heart's able to understand the information, and then the heart can reciprocate and send information back up through your throat, up through your third eye, and all the way to your crown. And then you can understand and let your mind take action on it. And then it goes back down again. So I do recommend wearing this. However, if you choose to have it on your grid, you can actually place it in a round, in a circle, containing all of your other crystals. So here I have mine, and it's that ring of quartz. For those of you who have been subscribing for a while, you know how often I mention, like, if you want to amplify any crystal grid you make, you always put quartz around it. So this way you have an immediate circle of quartz. And again, if you have your fire, you put the fire on your sun, and you have your full crystal grid ready to go, ready to amplify. Now, with this ring, it also symbolizes that clarity, that protection, and also the gathering of the information and the guides and the supports that are with you. When we're asking for enlightenment, we're asking for wisdom, it's like asking our army of angels to come and to show us the way and give us information. And some of those will be physical, some of those will be non-physical. And if you think of each and every one of these little crystals that are on this necklace is like your own support team. If we really could see the amount of people that are around us, and beings, I should say, not just people, because I know my fur babies come and join me a lot. If we could see those people around us, then we would never doubt, because we would know that so much has our back. And so as you place this crystal grid, honoring how much support is there and how much your back is covered. And when we receive enlightenment, trust is our biggest challenge. And when we know that we're supported, trust comes so much easier. So I hope that this unlocks great, beautiful insights and inspirations for you. Happy charging. I recommend charging your crystal grid for at least 24 hours, and then you can wear the pieces and they will be charged with the others. I do also recommend doing it either during the full moon, the new moon. You can also do it during the quarter moon if you're looking for balance and cycle breaking. The quarter moon is a beautiful time. It's when it's half dark and half light from our viewpoint. And that would be the best time to amplify these. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.